Now, look, speaking of weird, we've got to talk about Rosie O'Donnell. She's having another Trump derangement syndrome-induced freak out. You know, the woman moves to Ireland to escape Donald Trump, but yet she can't stop talking about him.
He's very dumb. He's not a smart man. And we all have to face that, you know, our inability to face the things that are disturbing and to just believe in alternative reality.
Brad, I think there's only one alternative reality, and Rosie O is living in it.
It's wild because she literally fled the country to get away from Donald Trump, but can't seem to stop talking about him because her fleeing is her only claim to relevancy these days. I mean, really, what does she actually do anymore other than beef with Trump online? And it's funny because she is saying that Trump is detached from reality. But do you know one of the reasons that Rosie O'Donnell cites that she fled away out of America? Because of her non-binary child. Now, let's be clear. A non-binary child is kind of like a vegan cat. We all know who's really making the decision, and it's not the child and it's not the cat. And a non-binary child is also not a thing. People are male or female or very rare. There's intersex conditions, but non-binary is not real. And so she's promoting incoherent and absurd ideologies on her children while claiming Donald Trump is out of touch with reality, even though she's so deranged by politics, she fled the country. It's beyond parody, honestly.
Hey, on another topic, Joe Biden has begun his rehabilitation tour, giving interviews to the BBC last week and to The View just the other day. Here he is explaining why Kamala Harris lost the election.
I've never seen quite as successful and a consistent campaign undercutting the notion that a woman couldn't lead the country and a woman of mixed race.
Yeah.
Brad, he seems to think Trump only won because they demonised Kamala Harris on the basis she was a woman and coloured. Your thoughts?
No, my thoughts are that that's absurd, and his brain really has gone to mush because, look, I covered the campaign closely, and the things that were highlighted about Kamala Harris nonstop were her connection to the Biden administration and its pretty poor record on things like the border and inflation, her very real history of radicalism, her positions on everything from taxpayer-funded transgender surgeries for inmates and illegal immigrants and beyond. There was very little. I mean, look, it's a big country. You can always find some example of something. There was very little in the way of attacking her because she's a woman. In fact, she was only even the candidate because she was a woman. Joe Biden specifically purposefully said, I will only select a woman as my vice president, and she only became the candidate because she was his vice president. So the victim narrative and the invocation of identity politics is a lazy crutch at this point, meant to deflect away from how actually bad the Democratic Party is at basic politics these days.
Yeah, and I just don't know why Joe Biden's dusted himself off suddenly and is doing some sort of, as we said, rehabilitation tour. You know, go back to your knitting. You know, off you go. Brad Polumbo, it's been great to catch up with you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this evening. Really appreciate it.